All right, perfect. So we also have like technically four different teams on. So hello, if you guys don't know who I am, I'll introduce myself and like tell my story a little bit right now, and then we'll get on. I think Amber's going first. So my name is Emily Slater. It used to be Emily Wersing. I got married like a year and a half ago, but I literally just decided that I need to like start using my married name. Um, so I've been in the business for 6 years. I just hit 6 years at the end of October, which is so insane. I joined when I was a junior in college. I just turned 21 and I was just like living my life. I was just trying to figure out what I wanted. I changed my major a bunch of times. I just was living. I was just doing the dang thing. And I was doing all the things that like I thought I was supposed to be doing, quote unquote, but it really was just me living my life for my parents and doing the stuff. Y'all can probably relate to that in some way, shape, or form, right? So when I kind of like woke up and had this realization that I need to live the life that I want to live, that's kind of when this business, like I started this business. I saw one post, I joined right on the spot, and I just did the dang thing. Like I just started doing it. I didn't even know what network marketing was, never heard of the company. It works, none of it. Never tried a product, nothing. But truly, honestly, I can tell you that I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for the friendships and relationships. So we had a like work Wednesday, we called it. And there's probably like 4 or 5 of us. We didn't have like all of our teams living like right near us, but it truly made a difference for sure. I honestly do not think I would be here if it wasn't for that. So if you have some team around you, like get together, do it. I really, really, really want to push that for you guys. But I mean, long story short, because I'm going to be here forever. I ended up studying abroad that coming summer, and that was like my first aha moment, because I was in Amsterdam across the world and I was working my business and I was making money, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing. This is like the coolest thing in the world. So when I came home, I was away for about 2 months. I came home and I actually went diamond that next month. Now, guys, when I say I went diamond the next month after studying abroad in a different country, it was because it was 11 months of me working my business and building up that momentum, right? And why did I decide to bring hair, skin, nails with me and like get results and use it consistently being in Amsterdam? I have no idea, but I got bomb ASS results, and I went from enrolling like 6 to 10 customers a month to like 49 that month. I remember I was mad because I didn't hit 50. So there's a lot of things that like kind of come in here, right? It was the momentum of the entire year prior of me building my business, trial and error. I hit Ruby and then I lost it. And then I was trying to fit. I'm like, it's just, guys, who's new here? Drop a 1 if you're new in the chat. Drop a 1. Guys, it's going to be a bumpy road. And I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna like hit that next level and hit that goal. But then they say new level, new devil. Like you're always going to be growing, consistently growing, hitting that, how do I get to that next level? But it doesn't have to be like new devil. Just see the beauty in it. Have fun with growth and know that nothing is wrong with you. Every single one of us goes through it, right? So just really embrace it. But anyways, went diamond. When I came back 2 months later, went double. 3 months after that, went triple. 5 months after that, went presidential. So I went diamond, presidential in like 11 months, 1 year. Am I breaking up? Because it was like a little, no. Okay, cool. And that was just, that year was absolutely insane. Like, guys, I'm telling you, I remember the day I was still praying to see a comma in my paycheck, praying. And less than a year after that, I was making multiple six figures because I made the decision. That's it. I just made the decision to go full force. And it's not easy, right? So if you're sitting here like, I want presidential, or I went ambassador, and I went ambassador like a year and a half after that. But truly presidential was like that, guys, I just made the decision, right? So you make the decision, and you also have to make the decision that on the times that it gets hard, you don't quit. Like I never put quitting on the table. Savannah never put quitting on the table. Amber never, like Grace, the reason why they are here is because they did not put quitting on the table, right? So you need to promise yourself that right now, that when times get tough, you know, this is a growth moment. It's a growth season. So long story short, I mean, I paid off all my student loan debt. That was like the first thing. And my husband, boyfriend at the time, we moved, got a new car, started helping my family, just started traveling and having fun, really just having fun, saving. And then, you know, we got a little older, we got married, and then we just moved into our, you know, first house about a year ago. So I can't tell my story in 6 years in this time, because it just doesn't work that way. And I say that every time, but truly, you know, this business has been a huge blessing. I've met my best friends. Like 70% of my wedding party were people that I met in this business. So like, guys, I'm telling you, keep freaking pushing, because every single one of you can do it. I'm telling you. Okay. I'm going to find Amber. Oh wait, you're going first, right? Is that what? Okay. I think you can unmute yourself. Can you? Okay, you got it.
Yay! How's it going, everybody? So excited!
Hi.
Thank you, Emily, for having me on. You guys, I am pumped to be here. Who's excited? Like, can we just like blow it up in the chat? Let's get excited. Let's hype up for this. Emily, I love hearing your story because I've never heard your story before, and so I'm just so grateful. I want to know, first of all, you guys, as we get started, I'll tell you my story in a second, but I just want to know, like, who has hit their Christmas cash? And if you haven't yet hit it, how far are you? Okay? I want you to drop that. We want to be accountable. Put it all out there. Claim it into its existence, because we're talking about all the strategies. So I want to know who's earned it, how far away you are, and be specific and just drop it out there. So my name is Amber Knese. I am up in Minnesota. And Emily, I guess me and you must have started the same year, girl, because I started April, whatever year that was, 6 years ago. So I am from a super tiny town in Minnesota. When I say tiny town, there's one stoplight. And so I didn't have a big network when I started in this business. And I honestly was so afraid about what people would think of me as well, that I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to be okay with this. But honestly, I went in so blind to this. I had no idea what network marketing was. I remember the stuff that my mom had done previously. You know, we all probably have the mom that did something in like the back room or the living room corner that had the things, right? So I really didn't know about network marketing or really what I was getting into. I had tried a wrap because I wanted to get rid of cellulite or whatever. I was like, all right, well, let's do this. And so that was kind of the first thing that I said, well, I might as well just get paid for using the products. Well, joke's on me, because distributors and customers pay the same price, right? So that was awesome. But, you know, I saw a $500 bonus, or no, it was $1,000 bonus to hit Ruby. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to go get that bonus. I'm super red, and I'm super like, all right, we're gonna go for that. And so that intrigued me. And so I went all in with my first couple months, earned that $1,000 bonus, and I was like, oh, so now what? Because I'm too busy to continue to like be this full-time job. I was working as a registered nurse clinical manager, and I was the only manager for this entire agency, which meant that I was working office hours, I was working field hours, it was on call. I remember being at weddings and getting a call from somebody. I remember having to leave in the middle of a fair with family and having to like go into a shift, and it was so unpredictable, and I honestly had no clue like what my schedule would look like. And so I didn't see beyond like that quick first $1,000 bonus. Like I didn't know that this even had the potential to pay anything more than that. Like I was just like, well, that's great, that's cool. I did the thing, we're good, right? I had no idea, but then I started seeing the stories of everybody else out there like achieving so many awesome things, and I'm like, why not? Why not me, right? And so I decided to go all in with this. And in 10 months into my business, I was able to surpass the income that I was making as a nurse. At that point, I was like, well, this is pretty cool. We had huge bonuses back then. and that were life changing. And at that point, you know, I started to like see the list, like raise your hand or drop a two in the chat if you guys have that someday board, right? Like the someday I'm gonna do this, someday I'm gonna have my dream home, someday I'm gonna be debt free, someday I'm gonna live on the ocean. Like, what's on your list? Like that list, I started looking at that and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make that like my like I'm gonna, it's not gonna be my someday, I'm gonna turn it into like a reality. It's not gonna be a dream. And so that is where I wanted to go with this. And that same year, I found out that I was pregnant with my first son, and I was like, okay, I can't work this unpredictable, crazy life as a nurse. So I decided to hang up my stethoscope as a nurse, and I've been rocking this business full time since. When I went presidential, that was just when I was like, it's just mind blown. Like you were kind of saying, like the comma on the paycheck, and you see the five figures, and it's like, does that really happen? Like this is any normal person can do this. I'm nobody special. I literally learned the other day how to like allow people to follow you on Facebook. That's not like a friend, and so that's cool. Like I don't have the fancy Facebook. I didn't have an Instagram. I did have a Facebook, but I was like the super silent creeper on it, and I'm not the super fancy person, but you know, we just went all in with this, and I'm so thankful that I did. And I had all the things that made me nervous, but I had to just continue to look past them, and just like Emily said a second ago, take the excuses off the table and just say like, listen, I'm going to do this. And I want you guys, when you're looking at Christmas cash, when you're looking at your next goals, be constantly thinking about that same thing, because that's what's going to take you from where you are now to where you want to go, right? So let me know. I want to know a little bit about like, you know, what were your objections when you started, you guys? That's the one thing, like, I just hit me today, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know, and Brittany's on here, and I see you in the comment. I was just telling her about like, I'm not the most confident person, like personally, except for I can get on anything like this and I'm like, yeah, hey, what's up? And that's totally cool. But we all have our things. And I was so nervous about what people would think that it almost took me out. I was so worried about how I was going to put this business and fit this into my life, because I was also doing foster care for my brother at the same time. And so I was like, I can't, I don't have time for all this. But listen, those are going to be the first excuses that hit your mind when things get tough. And I love when Emily had said that, like when she first started, like, you guys, this is, you know, there's going to be bumps in the road. And so I want you to think of those hesitations and don't let them become an excuse. Whatever you do, recognize that right now and act on that. Take control of exactly what might hold you back, and know that that's going to be something that's always there, kind of like picking at you and just like ready. You got to bury that. You got to bury that really, really low and take it to the next level. So, Emily, do you want me to just like keep on going, or do you want me to? Are you muted? Okay. So a little bit about. All right. I wanted to look back. Like those of you that are talking about Christmas cash. Yay! Look at everybody earning. Ignorance on fire. Okay. So when I kind of just wanted to, like tonight, like mindset, I'm a big believer in like what you tell yourself up here, manifesting like what you're gonna do in this. And when I first, I'm gonna be so honest, when I first had Christmas cash, I was like, oh gosh, like, is this gonna be one of those things that's tough? Am I gonna actually get it? Like, I almost counted myself out. But I told myself, no, but I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it like 2 days before it ends. And I was like, whoa. And then I had to catch myself in that moment and say, you know what? Like, you can't have that lack. You can't have that like waiting for the end to do this. Okay, we have so much time left for any single person on this Zoom to be able to earn this bonus. Okay, you can earn it so quickly. You just have to put in the time, the effort, and the work. And so I just want you to like think about, first of all, like where you're going with this, what your goals are, and really ask yourself, is what you're doing right now reflective of earning that bonus? Are you waiting until it's 9 p.m. and trying to get your task list done? Or are you getting up in the morning? Are you super excited? And are you doing like what I did when I was working full time and I had to break it up 5 minutes here, 6 minutes, 10 minutes there? I mean, it was literally throughout those nooks and crannies of the day that we talk about all the time. And so if you just need to like make sure that you're being so committed to your checklist, to your goals. Don't wait until the final hour again to be able to do that. And I think like that is so important, that I hope everybody knows, because this is one of those things that, you know, there's moving parts, right? And I shared this analogy the other day on a different Zoom, and I heard it and I just loved it. Think of an airplane. If an airplane just rotates 1 degree, right? Nobody on that plane's going to notice that the direction changed. The pilot will barely even notice. But where is that airplane in 9, 10, 12 hours? It is in like literally a completely different state, a new country, like totally different, you guys. And that's what this is. It's those little things. It's for and a friend. It is so simple, and it's going to add up to such a big thing for all of us, not just the people earning Christmas cash, but gosh, you guys, did you know that you could probably earn $5,000 in just these bonuses alone, even if that Christmas cash wasn't here? Like, we didn't have this 6 years ago when I started, and I'm just so fired up and so pumped about it because I know that so many more people, it's not just for the 6 year person, it's going to be for the person that's been in 1 day or 3 days, 3 months, 1 year. And so success leaves clues. And so you're going to hear all kinds of other tips tonight, but I just wanted to start with here. Like, what you're putting in your mind and what you're manifesting, start writing it all over. I am a Christmas cash earner. I want you to drop it in the chat now. I am a Christmas cash earner. And just put out that confidence and that energy into the world, and it's going to pay you back. But success leaves clues. So really think about, like, where can you grow the most right now? I'm seeing so many people explode on TikTok, on Instagram, on Reels, on Facebook. That is so awesome. Look at everybody earning their cash. Yes, you guys are. I love it. Okay, so every single person right now that I'm seeing is growing their business hugely on Facebook Reels. This is a whole new thing. I know some people's phones don't even have it on the app yet. You have a fresh, new a network to tap into. If you've been working on TikTok, which I worked on TikTok really hard for a while at 20-some thousand followers on there, and now all I'm doing is keeping it so simple right now and just like pushing things over to Facebook Reels, pushing them over to Instagram, and getting the followers. And, I'm just starting that, so I'm going to be with you guys on that journey too. So if you're that person that's just like trying to funnel, or maybe you didn't do it before and you're just now trying to dabble in it, don't let that tool go, because I think that's going to be an amazing way to start growing. Somebody says, I don't know how to do Reels. You know what, girl? That's okay, because, you can learn, right? Anybody can learn in this business. If you don't do Reels, like, ask yourself, are you doing host to post? What are you doing for host to post? Host to post is a non-negotiable thing in my business, and I would say that that's the number one way that I'm growing my business right now. So for me, I think every single one of you guys can look at your page. If you're actively doing host to post and you go look at your page and you see that you have photos or posts with 0 comments, 1 like, 2 comments, that's so normal, so normal. But listen, when you're doing host posts, people are constantly visiting your page. People are constantly, you're interacting with them. You're commenting on their posts, or you're friending them, you're messaging them. So it's that interaction and that growing your network that is intertwined with host posts. And you have to remember, host post is a lead generating tool. And so if you're not doing that, you are really doing yourself a disservice, because it's so simple and it's so duplicatable. And so don't put that on the back burner and say that I shouldn't be doing my host posts. Do your host posts every single day. If you can only get up 2, that's great. Do 4 tomorrow. If you can only get up 4, do 10 the next day. Like, whatever you do, don't find yourself in a spot where it says, well, in a few days, I'm going to get up all my 25 that I needed for the past 3 days that I missed. Like, if that is all you can do in your business, if you can't do the Reels, if you can't do the TikToks, you need to be expanding your network, and host is going to do that for you. So I don't even know where I'm at in time. I'm just like rambling at this point, but I just want to let you guys know, like, you are all so worthy and so capable of this. Like, you are here for such a time as this, and I can promise every single one of you that you're no different from the one stoplight town here that has made it to Presidential Diamond and earned my Christmas cash as the same person sitting on the other side of the screen watching this. So I just hope that you all are going to take away from this and just say, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And you're just going to take everything off the table and say it's done.
I love that. Wow. I hope you guys are taking notes. I'm already, my hands hurting already. This is literally just started. Thank you so much, Amber. So something that she mentioned that I want to emphasize, especially if you're new, for sure. And I feel like a lot of you guys are, is truly, if you're not seeing the results that you want to see, maybe you're not new and you're like, maybe you're going, I don't know, you're just like, I need something, Emily, give me something. I'm gonna give it to you. This business is leads. Like, truly, that's what it is. And business, this is a business, right? Business is numbers, and it's a little math, but easy. It's just like statistics, right? So, but basic stuff. And at the end of the day, the more leads you have, the more you're going to enroll. Like, that's just it, right? The more people you talk to, the more you're going to enroll. The more, like, also, the more people that you enroll, the more or talk to, the more no's you're going to get, but the more people that you're going to sign up as well, right? So like me and Amber, for example, we probably get more no's than the majority of you guys on here because maybe we're just talking to more people, right? So maybe if you feel as if you're like, I'm just, people are saying no, like it's discouraging, you're on a great path. You're on a great path, I'm telling you. So post to post with this lead generation, guys, like doing the giveaway app, that is just keep it flowing. How many, and make little goals too in between, like how many new friends can you get on Facebook in one day? Like write down the number of friends you have tonight before you go to bed and make it a game. Like have fun with it. See how many new people you can get on your page in just one day to see your posts. All right. Thank you so much again, Amber. All right, Savannah, I think you can unmute yourself. You're good.
Hey guys. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be on tonight. Thank you so much, Amber and Emily, for sharing your mini stories. I want to hear the whole story. I'm that person in the business too, that like, I don't really know anyone. I'm sure you guys are the same way. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been in 7 years. I just love it. It's amazing. So, and one stoplight in your town. I'm just sitting here like, how do you survive? That's just insane. I'm from Las Vegas, so we live in a big city. I've got 4 kids. My husband now, because this business is home with us. And we've been doing this just like Emily for almost 7 years now, guys. So I said yes. I was working as a pharmacy technician in a research facility, and I'd be up at 5 a.m. to get to work, kiss my kids, goodbye. And they were sleeping at the time. It was my 2 oldest kids, 2 oldest boys. And I would be at work till 3 or 4 o'clock and I'd pick them up. And I just remember those heartbreaking moments driving home from, daycare where my kids would call me Miss Colleen. And I'm like crying, I'm not Miss Colleen, like I'm mom. And it's just because they were spending so much time there and I was never there. And so I had a life change moment within myself where I was like, this is not exactly what I want. I don't know if I want to be just 100% stay at home mom, but I know this isn't what I want. And so we were also living like super broke, $10,000 in debt with just our landlord, you guys, because after my youngest son was born, he had a stomach defect and it put us like in so much debt because both of us were fired. Like we were on food stamps, Medicaid, like all the things, so much debt. And I never thought we could get out of it. Like by Wednesday of the, biweekly paychecks, we were withdrawing cash to survive, filling up the gas tank and just paying the overdraft fees. And that's how we lived. And you know what? Life was okay. Like we were okay with it because we were happy and we still felt like we kind of had it all, but again, something had happened within myself where I'm like, I want more. Like, I just don't want to live like this anymore. And so I remember Googling, how many of you guys have Googled like work from home opportunities or downloading apps where you're like getting paid dollars to the penny to like walk in and scan something? Like I was doing everything. And just one day, friend requested me on Facebook and told me that she loved my hair. And that was it. I'm like, why is this hairdresser girl telling me she likes my hair? Like, this is weird. Does she want to cut it? Like, that was instantly what I thought. Like, she just wants to cut my hair. Okay, like, fine. But little by little, I started to watch and she was making money from home. And my mentor is Christy Christensen. At the time, you guys, she was just a diamond. And I watched her for a good 8 months before I jumped in and I saw her go triple diamond. And I was like, what the heck? This girl like just quit her job. Like she's doing the dang thing. She's making all this bonuses and she's nothing special. Like I love her, but like, it's not like she's the hottest thing. It's not like she, like she had all the things that I have. Like we're just normal people. Like, why can't I do this too? And so she really just opened up that belief for me. And I jumped in, you guys. And it took me 6 months to go Ruby. 6 months to go Ruby. It wasn't overnight for me, but it was an overnight mentality shift. Okay. Because those $300 to $500 a month that I was making off bonuses and commissions, that was changing us. That was, allowing date nights. That was removing those overdraft fees that were coming in the way that we were living before. And so It wasn't until December of that year when I showed up to Christy and Aaron's house, and I was driving my 1995 Honda Odyssey, you guys, with a broken key switch. So literally as I would drive, I'd have to hold my key in the ignition and drive. And then if at all, like my hand would at all move, my whole car would stop, like turn off, power steering, everything. And so as I'm like holding the key, doing a U-turn to park, I freaking blew two tires. And so I remember just like crying in the driveway. We didn't have money. I didn't even have money to go to that event. Like we were so broke. And Aaron drove to like 5 different places to find the tool to fix my tire. Like they just like went above and beyond. And that was when I knew like they were real people and they had good hearts. And, you know, I was in the right place at the right time. And so she asked me to go to conference, and me and my best friend at the time who worked with me at the research facility said, okay, fine, let's go. Let's do it. A girls trip. And that was really what we wanted to go for. Like Florida girls trip. I haven't left Nevada in 6 years. Like I'm in. And so we went, but something happened in that room. You guys, Mike Patello said something, and I share it all the time, but I'm never going to stop. He just said, what if, you know, today your kids were taken from you? And you were, you know, you got a hostage letter at your door and they were held hostage and they said you needed to pay X amount of money to get your kids back, right? You would do anything. You would do absolutely anything you needed to get your kids back. And then the mic dropped in my head and he said, your kids are already gone. And I was like, oh my God, they are gone. Like I am in captivity of my own life through this, you know, bond that's being separated because I'm not even with these kids that need me. And so I left that room and I actually wrote something down that Emily said, where did I write it down? The growth season, because I think a lot of us as leaders say, yeah, I left conference or I did this and I went diamond in 20 days. And I've even caught myself saying that, you know, I left that room and we went diamond in 14 days. And the thing that she said that moved me was, yeah, it wasn't 14 days. It was 8 months of hard ass work up to that moment. And then it was the decision that was made. That's all it was. The work didn't change. I was already putting in the work. It was just the decision that was made that we were going to leave and we were going to go diamond. And so we did. We went diamond. I remember checking my commissions at work and I called my husband crying and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, they aren't lying. And I say that because they always said, hey, Ruby checks are $500. And I never made 500. I'm just going to be honest. My checks were always like $390. And I'm like, how can I not make over 500? Like I'm doing more than the average. I'd always make more because of bonuses, but that was always in my head. So when I called my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, I just made, you know, my first check was $4,000 as a freaking diamond. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can go double, babe, like this is more money than I've ever made in my entire life. Like we could really do all the things that we want to do. And he said, okay, do it. Like prove to me that you can do it. And I did, you know, by the end of that next month, we had gone double diamond. Those checks were so massive, you guys, and we literally changed our life. And then it was next few months, I was learning about me, my leadership. You know, I had a lot of leaders step away because they didn't know how to handle me. I didn't know how to handle myself. You guys, I'm 7 years into this business. Like there's a lot of growth that happens between every single one of us. And the person that I started then is not the person I am now. And so that first year, by the end of that year in 2016, I started to question if I had left my job for the right reasons. Am I a one-hit wonder? My checks are down. I lost my bonuses. Like, what the hell did I just do? I made a really bad choice. And I just remember dropping to my knees and again, just asking God for some sort of sign that I did the right thing. And if not, that's okay, but help me move forward. And it was that very next day that Mark Pentecost launched that $10,000 drawing. And I had 2 entries into it. And I was like the second to last person called, but I got called and I won $10,000 cash. And the night before, I actually went on Facebook and told my whole audience, right? And this was again such a power of affirmation moment when I was like, I'm making 10 grand cash tomorrow. Like I'm winning a giveaway and it's happening. And when I wrote that, I didn't believe it. Like literally as we're sitting there in the giveaway, my husband left to go get soda, like mid, because we were like, okay, but I still sat there and I was like, they're going to call my name, and they freaking did. And honestly, it wasn't even about that money or that deposit for me. It was about that God answered that prayer, that I was in the right place. for me. And so I knew that I would never give up. And so 2017, we actually maintained pretty much everything we had worked in 2016, 2018. I was pregnant with my dream daughter, guys. We went through some infertility challenges, a good year and a half of trying to get pregnant with my daughter. And again, it felt so wrong because with my older two, like I was pregnant without even like asking for it, and here we are like married, having the best financial, state of our life. And I'm ready for this baby. And then it wasn't happening. And so like, I was just like kind of really in my head at that time. And then finally got pregnant and had all these goals. Okay. How many of you guys are pregnant? Because working the business pregnant is not easy. Okay. I've done it through 2 pregnancies and I'm going to validate you because it's not easy, especially as a first-time mom, because I've actually watched multiple best friends work it through becoming first-time moms. And I really just want to condone you because it's hard. Okay. But through my daughter, I realized that I was able to stay at home with her, but I was actually able to breastfeed her the entire year. And with my older 2 sons, because I was in school or working, I didn't get that time with them. And so I actually had a massive pay increase in 2018, barely maintaining diamond by the end of that year, guys. I've never lost diamond rank, but that check by December was $1,900. And I was really low. And I said to myself again, I had that moment with God. I said, well, now I have this dream baby girl, right? You gave me what I want, but now what? I'm going to go put her in daycare? Oh, heck no. Try me, right? And so during that year, even through the seasons of, 2018, where business was so low, people didn't know. My team didn't know. You don't go wave the white flag that, hey, our checks are down. Like we don't do that as leaders, right? And so in 2018, in November, I actually signed someone to my team. You guys all might know Ashley Mestis, and she was just gifted a Thanksgiving meal that month from her church because they were so in need of something new. And she stepped into the business and literally relit an entire new fire under my team. And so these people that had maybe faded out in 2018, why? Because I faded out, my energy faded out, right? Now she came in and she was this firecracker and her energy started to match mine. And now all of a sudden my team's like, hold on, who's this chick? What's she doing? If she can do it, then I guess I can do it. And it literally just took that one. And then that one took that 2. And then that 2 took that 3. And then all of a sudden it was like, woo, a powerhouse, you guys. And it's crazy because in 2018, we made $32,000. And in 2019, we made $88,000 with this business. And I think that just goes to show what mindset does. Okay. It was literally just that complete mindset shift of, I'm not staying home. I'm not putting my baby in daycare, but also just that mindset shift of it takes one. And I saw what Ashley did for my team. And I saw that it woke up all these people that I saw the potential in, but they just had given up on themselves. And that's okay. They give up on themselves. And really, it's never the business's fault. People are going to come, they're going to go, they're going to be intense, they're going to not. And it's never the business's fault. When you call them and they're upset about the business and they're like, oh, it's not working, my checks are down, X, Y, and Z. When you break down the pieces and you peel that onion down, it's never the business. It's not. It's the fact that they're broke. It's the fact that they're overdraft. It's the fact that they're being called for, X, Y, and Z. Their husbands were just fighting about them being on their phone. It's all the extras, but it's never the business because the business works. And we all know that, right? And so 2019, we were actually able to maintain or get back our triple diamond. And then did we go present? We're in 2021, we were ambassador. So no. So in 2020, we actually went presidential and we went presidential in March and I lost my sister in April to COVID. And I was pregnant with my 4th child who was very unexpected, again, through COVID. And it was literally like the craziest year, you guys, like all throughout all of this, we are pushing an ambassador promotion. Nobody knows the life that we're living. Nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. Like every single time that there's a huge thing happening, when you've already made the choice, like I'm going triple, I'm going pres, I'm going ambassador, something big is going to happen that's going to shake you to your core. It's already done. There's something big that's going to happen that's going to shake you so hard that you aren't going to know if you can keep going. but guess what? You're going to, because you've already made that choice, right? And so when I lost my sister in April and I'm pregnant and I'm wondering, holy crap, like what? God wrapped so many women around me and showed me that maybe I lost my sister to this horrible thing, right? But he gave me this network of sisters that poured so much love that I was able to heal and move on and feel okay, even through the darkest of moments. I had flowers being gifted. I had my best friend showing up at my door, like literally showing up at my door to take me out, to make me feel good, to make me feel okay, you know? And it was just showing me all the reasons why this business is not the paycheck. The paycheck kept going up, but it was so much more than just the paycheck. And just by loving people and then loving on you back, you're growing your check. And so that entire year, as like literally life was crashing, guys, like again, I told you we had our son. My husband had a stomach bleed that literally almost killed him 3 days after I had my fourth child. And then 2 months after that, I'm like, you know what? You're healed. I need a freaking vacation. So I booked us all a trip to Florida. We had the best week ever. The day before we leave, they tell us there's a freaking hurricane coming. Do I know there's hurricanes? I'm not from Florida. I don't know anything about a hurricane. Get stuck in a hurricane in Florida for almost a month, you guys, like in a hotel with no like food, water, running water, nothing. Was still able to work my business. Had one of the highest paid checks that month, because I was just sitting there working my business, like in a hurricane, living my life, right? And so that is such the epitome of what 2020 was, like a hurricane. And yet we were still able to be putting all these pieces together to make such massive, huge things happen. And after we got home from the hurricane, we went to Sedona for our Diamond and Up retreat. And my team and I, we just made this commitment to each other that we were going to go ambassador. And we actually all wrote down our ambassador speeches and we spoke them in front of each other and recorded them. And we just like had this moment where it's funny because even my girl Evelyn, who again, one of those huge game changing pieces in my business that was woken up because she saw everyone else doing it. And she's like, okay, if they're doing it, I can do it too. Right. And then she woke up out of nowhere. And guess what? She was on every team training for like a year and I had no idea. No idea, because she was like that silent person, just like comparing herself, wondering if she could do it. And then she just decided to do it, you guys. And she is the biggest producer on my team, point blank, by far. Okay. And it was literally by a choice. Okay. In March, the day after my 30th birthday, I love to point that out. It was my birthday from my team. We went Ambassador Diamond. It was one of the best moments my entire life. We actually did it together with my leadership in Arizona. It was so amazing. And I'll just never forget that. I'll just never forget it. And it's crazy because since that moment and now, our team has shifted. We've had some, fall away. We've had people leave, and it's just how the business works, right? None of us have shifted, the people that are in. And I think that that's what, like when you have no plan B, when you've put your heart and your soul into this and you're like, you know what, even if my checks are down, even when I'm feeling like I'm not in the right place, I'm going to pray and God's going to answer that prayer. Because I promise you, if you pray with real intent tonight, God's going to give you some sort of sign that you're in the right place because you want this and he wants you to be happy. And so I actually loved the Zoom password to get into the Zoom because it's 10X. That's actually my favorite book ever. I listen to it on repeat, and that's my team's like favorite book ever. We like power houred through that crap through Ambassador. That was actually one of like the best books. We just listened to it. And I swear, you guys, if you work your business like 10X, if you literally said to yourself every day, and this is what I did the month we went Ambassador, I said, if Mark Pentecost and the It Works team was standing here with the camera and they were literally recording like the model distributor of how to go ambassador, like that is how I need to operate, And so that was how I operated every single moment until we hit that goal. And there were so many times that I wanted to give up or I didn't think that it would happen. I mean, heck, that triple diamond that we helped build to triple to go ambassador, she was maintaining, I believe, Ruby in December. So we went from Ruby to triple diamond by March. And that was with a lot of new people, just brand new people that came in the woodworks in these months in November and December. Okay. So you need to give your people the room to grow and their growth season to start now. So that's why we're always saying harvest, plant. Okay. I could go through like a ton of other numbers, but I know I'm like totally ending my time here. What I do every day, personal development, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm going to do personal development. My team and I have a power hour every morning at 5:30 a.m. We don't miss it. And actually happened after we went ambassador, because I'm an ambassador and I was like, I was honestly never a really consistent power hour person. Cause again, I have 4 kids. My life's really crazy. Right. But now that my husband's home and we went ambassador, I was like, I just need a space that I can go every day that I know that my team's going to show up. And so 5:30 a.m. works the best for me. If people can get on, great, but I have so many layered leadership that also run them. So power hours are great. And we do personal development together with each other on the power hours. Also, something that really changed our business this year was journaling. And it's not just like the journaling of, I've had a really great day today, you know, because like when I first heard top leaders telling us like journal, I'm like, no, I'm good. I have a lot of other things to do, but sitting right in a journal, like I'm not 12. Okay. But I decided to listen, and I'm that person where I really am stubborn until I do it. And then I realized that, okay, I actually do need to do it. And it's just that dream journaling. It's really just cycling through your dreams. I always wake up and it's the first thing I do before anything else. So I kind of even do it as a prayer, and I just say, dear Lord, thank you so much for waking me up this morning and my beautiful family that loves me so much. And then I just go into what we want. You know, thank you for the time you've given with our babies. Thank you for the inner drive that you have in my soul to, you know, have success. And I just go through and I just thank him, I connect, and then I ask him for what I want. And I actually shifted to this page on purpose because I will talk about people by name. Like even my new distributors, I'll write about them in my journal. Like Nisha hits her first huge bonus and goals. Alyssa starts to explode. Like I'll literally just start talking about my new distributors by name. Again, last year when I started the journal, I started to write about one of my best friends who was overcoming some confidence issues. And in the business, she couldn't overcome a couple things that were holding her back. And I started to write about it. And within literally 60 days, you guys, she was an entirely new distributor, built herself back to diamond, and held that rank the entire year by herself. And that was like such a freaking shift. And I know it had something to do with that. It was me just, instead of talking and putting out about how it's annoying having to deal with her, or, you know, spoon feed her compliments or whatever it is, I just started to write about how much confidence she felt and how loved she felt by me, even if I didn't have to tell her all the time. Okay. And so those things in your business that are holding you back emotionally, or that's what you use those journals for. And that's what can really help shift and move you forward. Last but not least, where's my list? I had it here. Personal development, journaling, HAPs. I'm not going to let that go. You have to do HAPs. I personally am not a HAP person. I don't love doing it, but I do it every single day. Again, don't love to do it, but I do it. And it's the same exact thing about everything else in this business. You're not going to love to do everything, but if you do it, you will change your life. Posts and then reels, you guys. I started to stay consistent with TikTok last year around this time. And I did it for 60 days, and I wrote Christy and I told her I was quitting it. I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'm literally not like, I'm not going anywhere with this. Like, this is stupid. I'm done. And she was like, okay. I'm like, okay, going back to half. And then end of January, I wrote in the team page, I was like, okay, fine, I'll give this one last shot. And that's so silly because let's be honest, you never give it one last shot. You keep going until it hits. But just this year, I started TikTok again on my own. I'm almost to 50,000 followers on TikTok. And then Instagram, again, I've never been like a massive Instagrammer. I'm still trying to like love up on it. But I am at 10,000 and growing. So that's good. And that is literally through reels, you guys. It's reels. That's what's going to blow you up. And then just the last 2 months since they popped off Facebook reels, I've grown literally, you guys, 5,000 followers in 60 days on Facebook reels. Like, are you kidding me? Why aren't you doing that? It took me 3 years to get 5,000 friends on Facebook. And I did that in 60 days with Reels. And I'm telling you, it only takes one video. Okay. So if it took you 1 year of being consistent and getting, 3 likes or 100 views or whatever it is to get one video that popped off, because what happens is if you're staying consistent, doing your business, doing your personal, now all of a sudden one pops. Okay. Now everybody that has that video that pops off, they go get lost on your page. Okay. And now 10 other of your videos are going to pop off. And overnight, you're going to wake up to like 500 new followers. And then it's going to be 1,000 new followers. And then it'll be 10,000. Like literally, that is what you need to start talking and claiming into your existence. And it can be as easy as that. Believing, having faith, manifesting, writing it down. I write about it. Like if you look at my dream board for where we're going, I write about like, I want my, where is it? 100,000 TikTok followers. Talk about exactly what you want. Like talk about it, write it down, manifest it, and you're going to get it. Okay. And that's it. I'm going to let everyone else go.
Okay, I feel like I'm like sweating because that was like an emotional roller coaster. I feel like I was like watching like a really intense movie right now. Does anyone else relate to that? You do not need to be sorry. That's like how you do things, guys. Like you bring emotion into it. Like your story is so powerful. I had no idea what it was. I wrote so much down. I usually like repeat things, but I'm going to say something like literally 20 seconds just to kind of sum up really everything I was going to say is, when she was talking about her story and just all the lessons and stuff, guys, you can't just love this business when like you're at your high. Like you got to love it at its low too, right? It's kind of like it's just like a relationship. Like, we can use children as an example. Like you're not going to not love your child because like they're just going through a season in their life where they're in their terrible twos or they're being horrible. Like you're still going to love them, right? Just as much as you would if they're being good. You know what I'm saying? Like business is the same way. So just take that. I'm going to take it with that one. Okay. Leanne, I need to find you. I actually was. Okay. I think you can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hello. Hold on. I'm still trying. I'm going to put it first. Okay. Found you. All right. You can take the mic.
Okay, man, you're right. That was a roller coaster, Savannah. I'm like almost crying and then I'm like pumped and then I'm like all over the place right now. And yes, I have a Christmas tree up. I am due in 9 days with a baby, so I might pop at any moment. Maybe while we're on here, fingers crossed. I would love that. So I decorated my house early, so don't come at me. Anyways, so I'm Leanne. I got started almost 6 years ago. So all of us on here have kind of been in for a while. And my story is different than all of them, which I love that we all have different backgrounds and things to add to this. But I got started when I was just a broke college student. I was watching a friend on social media talk about this, and I had never heard of this before. I had no idea what network marketing was. I'd never heard of products. Like I was totally I had no idea. I read every single post, but I never commented or liked anything. Okay. So there's people out there that are reading everything you're writing and putting out there. Even though you get 2 comments or 2 likes, who cares? Someone is reading it. Okay. You're going to change someone's life one day if you just keep going. So she finally reached out to me and asked if I would come to her wrap party. And I said yes, and I didn't go. I was super shy and introverted, and just like knowing I was going to go to another, like a party where I didn't know anyone, I was like, yeah, no, not happening. So I didn't go. I just blew her off. And then she did her job and followed up with me, and she finally got me to just meet her for coffee. So I met up with her, had coffee. She explained this whole thing to me, showed me results, and I asked a million questions because I'm a red-green. So my green came out, and I'm like, well, tell me everything. So I asked all the questions, and then I had to wait until I got my student loan money to start because I was so broke. I was literally living at my father-in-law's house with my then boyfriend, now husband. He was paying all my bills for me.
I was like putting $5, $10 in my gas tank at a time, and I was so busy with school that we couldn't even work like part-time jobs. So when I heard that you could do this like on the side, kind of in your own time, I was like, okay, then this might work for me. So um, got started, and I did well. Like I feel like if a newbie joined me and they did what I did, and they back then, we had our shopping spree and all of that. If they went and did that right away, like I did, I would be so pumped. But I was comparing myself to other people that were starting at the same time as me, and I thought I sucked. So I made my money back because that was my biggest thing, is I had to make it back right away. And then I kind of just like was stagnant. And some of you might feel like that's you, or that you have people like that on your team, and they like come in hot and they're excited and they're doing things, and then they just kind of like they're still here but they're not really doing much, right? That was me. So I finished school. I got my dream job as a surgical technologist. So I worked in the operating room, and I worked really long days, like 10, 12-hour days. I had 2 hours of commuting, didn't have my phone on me all day long because I'm literally like in surgery. And you guys, I lived like that for about 2 years, almost 2 years. I was still living paycheck to paycheck, even though I went to school for this, went into debt for this. My husband and I had just got married, and we wanted to start a family. And I had a moment, it was actually on my honeymoon. Our honeymoon was a gift from my father in law. And we were sitting under this cabana drinking tropical drinks, and they're like bringing me pizza, and I'm like, what is this life? I've never been on a vacation like this. And I was like, how will I ever take another vacation like this? How will we like be around our kids? We're gonna miss out on so much stuff if I continue to work these long hours, and I'm always on call, and I work weekends and holidays. And I just had a moment there, like an aha moment of, I need more, I want more. And the life that we have right now isn't it. And I had never quit doing this business. Like I was, almost 2 years in, and I never quit. I just was kind of chilling. So that's when I made my decision. And you've heard every single person on here tonight say that word. Every one of us said we've made decisions, and we've actually probably all made multiple decisions to get to where we are. So I made a decision in that moment that I was going to figure this out. I had no idea what I was doing still. I didn't really have like successful uplines. I still don't. I don't have any upline. And I just said, I'm going to figure it out anyway. So I got on YouTube, and I just started learning. And I just started watching people that were successful and asking questions and figuring it out. Got to conference, and totally changed my life. You get there in that environment, and you hear, it was the Dark Horse speech that year that Mark did, and completely just chills. I was the only person in the room that he was talking to. And that day, or that conference, I promoted to executive 2 years into my business. And I looked over at my upline, who's no longer here, and I looked at her and I said, I'm going to be an ambassador one day. And she was like, okay, sure. You just went executive. It took you 2 years to do that. But really quick, I want to know how many of you here have been in, like, let's say 6 months, and you're not a Ruby yet. Put a 3 in the chat. I think that's where we're at. Okay, I want to applaud any of you guys that have been in for 6 months and you're not Ruby and above. Because just because it hasn't happened your first month or your third month or even your first year does not mean you're not going to get there. Your journey is your journey. All of us have a different story for a reason. And that was something that I had to go to conference to even learn and hear, because I had it in my head. I've been here 2 years. Who am I? I haven't even promoted. Like, I'm never going to be a diamond ever. Like, that was what I had in my head until I got there. And then I heard other stories and I realized, no, it was all in me the whole time. I was just the one holding myself back. So from then on, I was like, I'm in, I'm doing the thing. I want to replace my income. I want to have babies and be home and do all that stuff. And so I went double within that next year. I had my son, who's now 2.5. The month I went double diamond, I had him. And so talk about no excuses. Like, end of pregnancy and newborn going double. It's insane. And then, my business, was uphill into that point from the executive to there, and then things fell apart. And I think too many times we don't tell that part of our story because we just want to be like, yeah, we just, we promoted and it was great. And it was until it wasn't. And I had to learn a lot about leadership, and I had to care more about people and not just be like me, me, me. And I had to learn a lot during that season. So you're going to have just so many hills and valleys in this. And I went through that year. And so got through that, and then last year was like a massive growing year for my team. It was like relationship building and bringing in, like, raising up leaders and actually just caring for people and watching other people win on my team, and it had nothing to do with me, and it was more rewarding than me going through it all. And then at the end of last year, I read the book, I want to make sure I say it right, The 12-Week Year. And that book set me up for the most incredible beginning of this year. So I read that book, I made my 12-week year plan, and I started that stuff I started in November and December. So as they were saying, like, this is a growing season. This is like your planting season. This is like you should be watering. You should be planting as many seeds as you can right now, because here soon things are going to explode faster and bigger than you ever imagined, and it's going to be because of what you're doing right now, not because of what you decide to do in 2 months. So that was something that I started at the end of last year with my team, and we made, our goals and our 12-week year plan, and I printed off the certificate that said I was going to be a triple diamond by March, and it scared the crap out of me. And last December I was maintaining diamond barely, and I said, how am I going to go triple in the next 3 months? I don't know, but I wrote it down, and that's what God told me to do, so I'm going to do it. And we did it. And and as Savannah was saying, like, life is going to happen when you're on the verge of something huge, and the breakthroughs is not even a joke. In January, the week of conference, I had a miscarriage. Literally, I was sitting here in this seat going through a miscarriage, watching conference, and wondering, like, how am I going to figure this out? Like, my whole world felt like it was crashing down. And then the next month, my very best friend, who was my upline in this business, she quit out of nowhere. And I felt like, how will I ever go on without her? There's no one else. Like, it's just me and her. It's been me and her from the beginning. And so I had that happen. And then, March, everything turned around because I didn't stop. Because all that stuff was happening, I knew it was for a reason. And I leaned into my faith more than ever, and I just kept going. And God blessed us, like, so incredibly, like, more than I ever could even ask for. And so in March we went triple, and we got pregnant with our rainbow baby that I'm due with any day now. And we've just done so much stuff. I got into Winter Circle, which I didn't even think I could do that. And I got to go to the ranch, and just so many incredible things happened because I didn't let these things and these obstacles take me off track. And I didn't let the enemy distract me when he wanted to most. So, yeah, that's how we've got to here. So here we are, but I know we're like getting close to time. So I want to go into this Christmas bonus and all of that stuff. One thing I was talking to some of my team about last week, which they're on here, I asked some of them that have not earned their bonus yet, or maybe they haven't finished a 4-in-1 cycle yet, or they've only done one and they haven't completed like a full thing. I've asked them, are you still talking about the bonus like you're earning it? Are you, like, when it came out in September and how everybody was so excited and everybody started talking about it? Are you still talking about it? Do you still post about it? Do you still go on your story about it? Do you still journal about it? Are you still saying those affirmations to yourself every day? And a lot of them said no. And I said, well, you're not going to do it then. So I want to ask you guys, like, do you have that belief in you still? I don't care if we only have however many days left. Anyone can do it in any amount of time. It's a decision. It's always going to be a decision. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, when 4-in-1 was first announced, I kind of was mad. I'm not even going to lie. I'm a mass enroller, and I just have always been like, okay, if you're not going to work, whatever, I'm still getting my fast start bonus. And now I can't do that. And so when it was first announced, I was like, well, that's dumb. Like, I want to still get what I want. And I realize it's not about me, it's about other people. And in the long run, it is going to benefit me more. So I had to change a lot of my mindset around 4-in-1. And to be honest, I didn't even really start talking about Christmas bonus or working on it until like mid-September. I was also sick with COVID and 7 months pregnant, so I had that going on too. But I still like really wasn't excited about it. And then something changed in my mind, and I realized like, no, this is huge. This is a really big deal, and we have like an opportunity on our hands that, like, our company's not making money off of this. They're giving it to us. Like, this is huge. So what we have is so, so important, and we can bless so many other people through this. So I made that decision in September, and then I just finished my Christmas bonus last week. So, and my goal was to have it done before this baby comes, and it's done. So I feel so much better, but now I'm focused on my team. Who's going to get it now? And so it's the duplication. And so I'll just share some duplication tips really quick, and then we'll be done. But make sure, first of all, you have to be leading from the front. If you want your team to do this 4-in-1 and you want them to, you're trying to help them, are you doing it? Are you showing up with your task list? Are you getting on calls? If you're not doing those things, they're never going to do it. I knew I had to go out and earn this Christmas bonus if I want anyone else on my team to do it. So first of all, you have to show up first. What's been working for my newbies, okay? So my newbies, I am like, girlfriend, we're best friends. You are getting your first bonus done like tomorrow, okay? So I've been, just so much more intentional with my new distributors than I feel like I've ever been. I want them to succeed so bad, not just for me, but for them, because they all joined for a reason and they're investing for a reason. And so it's a big deal. So Dirt List has been huge. Where like most of my new distributors get their first few customers, if not all 4, from their Dirt List, like right away. And then it's right into Host to Post, because Host to Post is the one thing in this business I feel like is the most duplicatable and is the easiest thing to go show somebody and have them just take off with it. It might be confusing at first, but anybody can do it. It's not hard to post and have people post for you. It's really that simple. So we go straight into that. Getting them on coaching calls, like talking to them on the phone, voice messaging them, just like that is going to go so much further, because you know how excited people are when they get started and then it fades out and then they stop replying to you, and you don't want that to happen. So I've been voice messaging them. I'm checking in every single day. I'm getting them on calls. I have one girl that started in September, and she asked me for a coaching call every single week. And I used to say no, because that's a lot. But now I say, yeah, sure, let's get on the phone. Let's talk. Because it's keeping her excited. She joined in September and she's still here. So that's the whole point of that. And recognition. Recognition is really huge. You just making sure they know the little wins are really big wins. So even if they just got up their first 10 Host to Post, I'm shouting them out for that. Because I want the whole team to cheer them on and realize that like 10 Host to Post, that's fantastic. That is a great start. And then they're going to go do more because they realize that's a good thing. For their customers, for completing 4-in-1s, of course, but just every little thing, even if it's a one-on-one shout out. If I see a girl make a post and I didn't tell her to go make it, I'm in her inbox like, oh my gosh, your post. Good job. I can't believe you came up with that yourself. Or I saw that you went into our team page and got that. Like, good job to be resourceful. So just finding little things to compliment people on goes such a long ways, and that builds that relationship and that connection with them, and it just goes so much further. So those are some of my quick tips. Also, like they all said, TikToks, Reels, Facebook Reels, they're going to blow up your business. So if you're not doing them, start doing them right now because we all said it and success leaves clues.
Okay. Wow. Tonight I'm like, whoo. Okay. Thank you, girls, so much. Seriously. And Leanne, I was going to tell you this before, but your comment in the chat earlier when she asked if there's anyone here who's like pregnant, and you're like, yeah, I think you're like, my water's about to break. I was dying. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for getting on here and speaking. Props to you. I appreciate you guys all so much for getting on and just taking the time and pouring into each other. And that's really it. Just praying. I'm praying over each and every one of you guys in this like Christmas bonus. Just like Leanne was saying, y'all can still hit it. It doesn't matter how much you need. You just need to make the decision. So if you are waiting or you need me to tell you that, make the decision, I'm telling it to you right now. Just make the decision. We're all in here doing this together. But thank you again so much. Can't say it enough. And I hope you guys have a great night.